In your document, you will need to decide at some point on your margins, orientation of your pages, and page size. All of this comes up here in the Page Layout tab, so let's click on that. And you can see here in the page setup I have margins, orientation, and size. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the entire document. And then in the next video, we'll look at how you can apply this to individual sections. First of all, let's have a look at the margins. If I click on this, you'll see that at the moment I have a normal settings, and that's just 1 inch all the way around. But what I can do is I can move to different settings and perhaps change it to a more narrower margin. Or perhaps I want to have it more of a mirrored style. So for example, if this was a bound book here, you can see the 2 pages. I'd like to have a bigger margin on this side of the page and also on that area of the page. Now, you might be used to dealing in centimeters rather than inches, so remember you can go and change that. You come backstage, File, Options, and then in the Advanced, you should be able to scroll down, and somewhere here we go, show measurements in units of, and you can choose inches, centimeters, millimeters, points, or picas, depending on what your preference is, but I'm just going to keep it as inches. So you can see how you've got different options for your margins. If you ever want to make a custom margin, you don't want to use these values here, you can click on custom margins and again just manually change the particular values. The gutter itself is this area here on the left side. You might want to make a very big gutter here. Perhaps if people want to write comments in a document, you're going to print it out and you want people to make comments in it, you might actually make a 2-inch gutter, and you can have a look down here. There's a big preview there, and I can click OK, and look, it's brought it all the way across, but very useful if someone's going to write handwritten notes. Let me just undo that change with Control and Z. So those are page margins. Now let's have a look at the orientation. Orientation is very simple. We either have portrait, which is more of a vertical. You think of it as in the Mona Lisa portrait, perhaps. A portrait of a picture, it's more vertical. Or we have landscape. A scenery landscape is more horizontal. And if I click on this, it changes the entire page. And you can see that we've got some of the text and diagrams now going on to across different pages. Generally, most formal documents will have portrait, but you might want perhaps a table to perhaps be in a landscape mode. So certain sections just to be in landscape, and we'll look at that in the next video, how you apply that. Finally, we've got the size. Now I've just chosen the standard A4 size, but you can see that we've got A4, A3, letter size, we've got some more of an American size as well. And if I want to, I can click on more paper sizes and I can choose different options in here. And if I want to, I can also make my modifications at this area. So again, that applies to the whole document. Now, what finally we're going to look at is we're going to go backstage, because remember, if you're coming to the file and the print area, you actually can see that you've got a similar sort of options here. So perhaps I could have landscape, and it just makes exactly the same change as we looked at before. I can edit my paper size, and I can also change my margins. Let's just exit that and go back to the page layout. So you've got options here to do it in the page setup, but you also have the ability to do it at time of printing. There we go. As usual, give it a go.